Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Digital Goats Academy, guys. It is 9:01 p.m. Sunday, April 30th, guys, Eastern time frame. Welcome to Digital Goat Academy, guys. If you're tuning into my channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on your way in or on your way out, however you guys please. But again, welcome to my channel, guys. As you know, on Sundays, we just do pretty much a weekly outlook. Things that I'm looking at in the market on what I may think, transpire between today and tomorrow. Because as we know, Mondays are bad trading days, but I'm gonna give you guys some, ideas on what I'm looking at based off of what we've been seeing last week in this entire month. So as you guys know, man, it is, my experienced traders, you guys know it is NFP week. So what does that mean? That means that the market should be highly volatile, guys, like highly volatile. So as a trader, what you need to do is condition yourself to be in scout mode this week and not look for long hauls. Now, because it's NFP week, yeah, these moves can be aggressive, but I wouldn't be the person trying to catch the long move, definitely in the beginning of the week, more so towards like the end of the week, guys. So I'm gonna give you guys just some projections on what I'm looking at. As always, I'm in the United States. My bad, guys. I'm in the United States, right? So what I care about is my country's currency, because that's going to help me stay up to date on what my economy is doing and, other things that, using the information on what the dollar is doing can help create that narrative. But as you guys been following me, I've been pretty bullish on the dollar, guys. And I think that we're probably about to see that move happen sometime soon. Let me clean this up, right? So if we look on the weekly time frame, the dollar had created support down here at, what price is that? 100.8, right? That's what I had my my notation at, right? 100.883, right? So the dollar did return back to the zone last week. So it did create another form of structure on a daily time frame. If you see right here, the dollar did create some form of structure, and then it retested it last week. If you guys remember, we were talking about consolidation, but I also said that inside this entire block, I believe the dollar will start consolidating. And as you guys see, it is basically doing that with some promise to the upside. But right now, we still have to wait for it to clear really this structure right here. I would really want it to clear this overall structure around, what is that? 102, like 102 area. So if it clears this area, breaks this structure, with a good break, obviously we know it'll probably retest either back to these previous highs or back into the zone somewhere. But that's what I'm looking at, which will do what? If the dollar gets bullish, especially this week and continuing on, guys, that's going to start dropping some of these pairs against the United States dollar, guys. So this may be these moves that I was talking about, where we may have these year-end moves, guys, where really if you press the buy or sell button, in my opinion, you could just hold these until probably like next year, guys. Obviously still with, the market creating structure and stuff, but we would have to pretty much find high points that the market could potentially be selling off, or low points that, the dollar could be buying off. But I am still bullish on the dollar, guys. To me, it's just prepping us in order to push this move back up. Now, once we get back to these levels, like I mentioned, I will have to reassess the market, but I do think that we're going to at least break through 103, 104, push the market back up to 105, and then from there we'll assess again. But you guys know my overall thought process on the dollar is it going back to 126, 125. We may not see it this year, but I believe that this may be the start of pushing that dollar back into those numbers. Now, let's look at the Japanese yen real quick, right? So I was looking at the Japanese yen, and you guys know we were looking at USD JPY. That was either the beginning of the week or it was like the week prior to that. So again, I mentioned that as long as price stayed below my gold line right here at 75.82. Now it may be different depending on your broker on TradingView, guys, but this is the broker that I use for the indexes, and I think these are the only ones, to be honest. So below this gold line, the yen is bearish. Now, it did create a gap. That was last week. If you guys saw, I know USD JPY took off to the upside. I know GBP JPY took off to the upside. I mean, big moves, guys, like 200, 300 pip moves on yen pairs. They do that, guys. They do that. They do these big moves, but they're normally backed by news and they're normally like on pretty much towards the end of the week, but also well, that's pretty much it. So what I'm looking at is for the dollar to come back. Well, the Japanese yen to come back up here and collect this gap that you see, guys, right here, guys. So I don't think that's going to happen this week. What I think is that we're going to be pushing down, but consolidating at the same time in order to, draw in more sellers in the market, well, more buyers who are going to be buying against the Japanese yen in order to push it back up. Then once it collects this gap, then I think we're continuing bearish, guys. Overall, we're bearish, but since it created this gap, I know the market is going to try to, snag that eventually. I don't know if that's going to be today. I mean, this week. I don't know if that's going to be next week, but more than likely, this could be the start of it towards the end of this week and then push it up like next week, guys, which will make all the sense in the world to me because here we are back at consolidation again. And you guys know my thought process behind that. Consolidation, the market is attracted to it. Why? Because this was the initial area that it broke out of. Now, I'm not saying that, with it breaking out of this area, let's turn it to a line chart so it's not confusing anybody. So with it breaking out of this area, like I always say, out of consolidation, we should either retest like halfway into the box or at the top of it. Now, it could go 100%. You know what I'm saying? That's like the anomaly that we're not prepared for. 100%, which that would be support down here if you guys looked at that. So that would be support if the yen continue to drop down, which I do think that it is going to continue to drop down and then reverse back up. Only not necessarily like, hear my words, guys, not to reverse the entire direction of the move, but more so to correct the market, right? Hold on. So to correct the market back up to these previous lows. So again, if we look at resistance over here, we should have the market coming back up somewhere to these previous lows, if not wanting to touch this resistance. You see what I'm saying? So we have to establish some type of support if we're going to stay true to that. So the market right now is currently trying to find support. When it does that, it'll probably reverse back up to this area, if not, one of these other previous lows here, and then continue to bring the market down. Makes sense, right? But we do have support right here, which, is in the form of consolidation. So either 50%, it'll pop back up, or 100%. More than likely, it'll continue to move because this is continuing from last week. So normally Sunday is just a continuation of what it was going to do Friday, but the market closed, guys, and stopped up right there. So that's what I'm looking at with the yen. So I do think that USD JPY is continuing to be bullish until it reverses, which could be probably like New York session, maybe New York session, guys. More than likely, I don't think it's going to happen during London. But let's go into what everybody cares about, right? Indices and commodities, right? Now, gold, guys, gold. Let's talk about gold. All right, so gold, right? Time frame. You guys remember we were talking about gold since last week. Wow, I should have stayed in that. We were talking about gold since last week, right? Or the week prior to that. And I mentioned that I believe that I spotted a head and shoulders in the market. Now, this area where the resistance to that is at, over here where this black zone is at, right? That was the right shoulder, right? So I had the left shoulder over here. It's labeled. I had the head over here, which, possible market coming back up, which it will do that eventually. Well, potentially. I don't know if gold is ready to even come back up here anymore. In all honesty, I believe that gold is probably not coming back up to these zones. The only thing that I think is going to do is play around here and then continue to push down. But this is the right shoulder right here, right? We have resistance here. Too many times the market has revisited this area and only to bring the market down, right? If you guys see, this has literally been, a downtrend. If you spot that, I mean, more so follow it from the momentum of the candles, but it's been telling you, man, that I'm trying to sell. The only thing is that we need a clear break of structure. And what I mean, guys, is again, turn it to your line chart and we need a clear break of this low. We get a break of this low, we know that the market is definitely coming down, but it's going to have to retest certain areas. So I don't know if it will want to come back up here, come back up to this zone in order to continue selling, but more than likely, guys, once we get this break, we'll get a continuation, and then probably like a monster pull back up higher than this low in order to continue making the market sell down, guys. So yeah, a lot of opportunity with gold. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not changing my bias on selling gold. So even if it pops up slightly, I'm prepared to pretty much take the sell. So any move that it makes to the upside, unless it breaks this zone specifically up here, I'm looking for selling opportunities. I'm not telling you guys to get burned out by trying to sell it the whole time. Obviously, wait for it to come to a position, but let the market give you data. And then once it does, you make a decision from there, right? Pretty straightforward. But we'll have a lot more data going into Wednesday. It's going to be choppy all the way up until Wednesday. So I would just, kind of just kick back, take the scalps. If you're going to enter in some of these trades, 30, 40 pips, 50 pips, depending on, the aggressiveness of that currency pair. And, just have a field day with that, guys. I also think that this is going to trigger some bullish momentum in Bitcoin. Now, I did have a position where I was thinking that Bitcoin may decide to come back to these levels only because it just moved away from this position too fast. And I'm not even sure if the market registered that. And what I'm saying is that we could have another lower high in order to bring the market up, guys, right? So let's just, again, make it make sense. Market could get pushed down here to either create a new level of support down here, well, currently, or it could probably, be attracted to the previous high. But again, it has that wick all the way down here. So crypto, we know, does some funny business. I could see it pushing all the way back down here super fast and then popping back up to create the structure to match up with the support level, if not the previous high. But again, crypto doesn't necessarily move in that sense. So as far as right now, unless you see that move happen, I'm not saying anticipate that move, follow the trend. Currently, we are bullish with cryptocurrency. You know what I'm saying? It's backed by seeing that gold is obviously selling, guys. So if gold is selling, you guys should be looking at crypto to be getting bullish, right? I'll show you guys that later on with the, I believe I mentioned that before in one of my classes about the index where you have gold against Bitcoin. I'll show you guys that probably later this week if I remember. But yeah, so I'm looking at Bitcoin to actually continue to be bullish. It's consolidating right now. You can pretty much see that by the candles that it's pushing out. So just wait for a break, guys. Well, for me, I'm looking at it more so on the investing side. If you guys are leverage trading it, that's cool. But I'm more so looking at it on the investing side. So that's what I'm looking for Bitcoin. But when you're looking at Bitcoin, if you see some of these stocks, well, some of these indices as well, that should actually cause the NASDAQ to get bullish. It should cause S&P to get bullish. I'm not sure if that's going to cause US 30 to get bullish. I think US 30 needs a little bit more power from the companies that it's backed by in order to trigger its, more aggressive momentum. But NAS and S&P, yeah, I'm looking at those things to continue being bullish. I was already bullish on S&P. So the fact that it came down to my previous high or my previous resistance zone, yeah, I'm pretty much certain that S&P is still bullish, right? Well, we got to find these entries. Now, again, this is Sunday from we're in Sunday coming from Friday. Friday should have been the move that triggered the market, and Sunday should be the continuation with minor pullbacks, guys. Don't live and die by that, but I'm just saying that most times you see the pattern that Sunday's a continuation of what Friday was trying to do, unless it just didn't continue it, unless it didn't do its corrections on Friday. So the way the market was moving on Friday, that should be the continuation all the way up until at least New York session. And then from there, all chaos ensues. You know what I'm saying? So, have fun with that, guys. Definitely be cautious in the market. Was there anything else I wanted to touch on? No, those were the currencies. I am going to touch on oil later on in the week. Let's just look at USD JPY now. Pushing up. Is it doing a small pullback? Looks like it's trying to actually make a correction. Yeah, it looks like it's actually trying to make a correction back to these previous highs. Makes sense. Makes sense all in the world, guys. So again, these are just minor corrections in order to continue going in the direction it's going to go. So find your entry, guys, and make a decision within the market. This market is definitely bullish right here. So unless it breaks this structure down here, I don't see USD JPY coming back down. I think that, again, it's going to consolidate, throw people off, get sellers to jump in this market, and then push up. I do see a push down, maybe like halfway of this candle, and then from there, lift off. I don't see a lot of strong momentum. If you guys look at the Hakanashi candles, I don't see a lot of strong momentum. But again, this is a forex pair, so as we know, we shouldn't see a bunch of like momentum from it until we get a little bit more data from news and the data that hasn't peaked into the market. But that's overall what I'm looking at, guys. Like I said, I gave you gold. As you see, the momentum is down. I do want to see some type of pullback back into this zone. If not, back up to this resistance right here. So we'll see what gold is trying to do. But again, today is going to be hard to predict or be precise in where the market is heading for your corrections or for your pullbacks. So when you see it get into an area that seems like, okay, I should be buying or selling here, you take that. But again, stop looking for the Hail Marys. Just go for 30, 20, 40 pips, whatever the case may be, guys. In and out of this market, that'll save you the grief. And then don't trade tomorrow. Just kind of analyze the market, gather the data that like Bloomberg and all these other news outlets is going to give you, and then just make a decision from there. Pretty straightforward. So I'm actually looking forward to this week just because it's NFP. Last week got pretty volatile, which was kind of crazy to me. But I did mention to my group that because NFP, normally you see like some type of like a little bit of strong volatility right before NFP. So that's exactly what now that we're in NFP week, I'm expecting for the market to actually get crazy, but crazy in a good way, where if we're patient enough, we find these entries, guys, you can walk away this week with a lot of profit made in this market, man. So appreciate you guys as always. We kept this pretty short. I mean, with a weekly outlook, I'm not really looking at given opportunities, but I gave you guys, for the most part, my biases on what I'm looking for some of these currencies to do. I mean, my eyes are set on gold, as you already see. I'm kind of waiting for it to actually show me its hand and then, go from there, guys. But I will say that gold has the possibility to hit the top of this resistance. I'm just looking to see how far it pulls back into the zone. I am looking at the resistance to make the better sell, but again, today's Sunday. It's going to be choppy. It's going to throw boomerangs at you. It's going to throw, fake outs at you. So could push up here, come down for 40 pips, then London session push back up here, then come down New York. You see what I'm saying? So, just manage your trading account based off of that narrative, guys. So I hope y'all make a lot of money tonight. I hope nobody gets burnt out before we actually get to, jump into the market at the beginning of the week. But as always, guys, appreciate you. Again, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Comment if you guys, or have anything that you're interested in, or something that maybe I've gone over that you needed more clarification, things like that, guys. Always hit that notification bell so you guys stay up to date on my content. And as always, guys, see you at the top, because we're taking everybody to the top with us. Digital's GOATs. I'll see you guys Tuesday. All right.